You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, brace yourselves because Jack Devereaux is back in town just in time to find that Doug Williams passed away. And as things heat up in the Horton House, Jennifer Horton Devereaux goes crazy on lying Cat Greene, and I don't blame her one bit. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and let's dive into some of the incredible stuff coming on Thanksgiving and the next few days on the Peacock soap. But please click subscribe if you have not. And if you are watching this on Thanksgiving, I hope you're having a wonderful one. So we already had some holiday action happening on Days this week. Bonnie burned the bird at the DiMera Mansion, which led a pile of them over to the Brady pub to get together. She was frying a turkey, and that's always risky if you don't know what you're doing. Chanel dropped chocolate turkeys off to her mom, Paulina, and then stopped to grab up husband-banging Joy Wesley to bring home with her and Johnny for what's looking to be a very small celebration at the DiMera Mansion. EJ DiMera is worried about Chanel and Johnny's marriage hitting the skids, so he told Joy to hit the road and said he would buy out her contract, but said, "You're gonna go, young lady." So I think EJ versus Joy is about to get really interesting. I'm interested to see Johnny's reaction and whether it's EJ's actions that ultimately expose what's going on. Meanwhile, Jack Devereaux and his wife Jennifer hit the Horton House to celebrate Turkey Day with loved ones, but things get both chaotic and sad while they are back under Julie Williams' roof. One thing is for sure, Jennifer is absolutely disgusted to see Chad DiMera hanging out with Cat. This woman had the criminal fraud charges dropped against her, so as far as Jennifer can see, Cat got off scot-free with all these dirty deeds. And of course, Chad knows there's more to it, but he's no fan of Cat's either. And if you remember, from the moment that Jennifer met Cat, she knew that was not her daughter, and she said it. Although, Jack was convinced by the DNA test, but of course, Cat's brother Mark rigged that. Jennifer never was. And JJ Devereaux felt something was off from the start, from the moment he met her as well. So on the next day's episode, watch for Jennifer to rage at Cat. And then, of course, they're going to celebrate the holiday. You might know if you ever watched How I Met Your Mother. You ever see them do Slapsgiving? So Jennifer Horton serves some karma to con woman Cat with a big old slap right across her lying face for getting everybody's hopes up about Abigail Deveraux possibly being alive. Jennifer thinks Cat should just go away and crawl under a rock. And by the way, if you didn't see Billy Flynn's interview from Day of Days, he said that he was upset that neither Ron Carlivati nor the temporary writers during the last strike would consider truly resurrecting Dear Abby. But now, with 2 new head writers in place, maybe it'll happen and we will get the real Abigail back at some point. For now, though, Abby's dead, and the only reason Chad is allowing Cat around him and in the Horton House is that they are working on the plot to get back Abigail's remains. Ever since Jack and Chad had Abby's grave exhumed and found it empty, it's been really rough. At first, it seemed like it was proof that Cat was the real deal. And then when she was outed, it was devastating to Chad that he didn't know where Abigail's body was and that he knew she wasn't at rest. So after Jennifer slaps Cat, I am certain Chad's going to explain that he's doing all he can to make sure he gets Abigail's body back so he can reinter her and she can finally rest in peace. And if that means making a deal with the devil, aka Clyde, and dealing with the devil's handmaiden, aka Cat, then he'll do it just for now. And I'm sure Chad is going to tell her that once he gets Abby's body back, Cat will be out the door and out of their lives for good. So that is one hurdle for the day, but the other is so very much worse. Jack heads upstairs to check on Doug Williams, who has been sick for a while. Julie told JJ Devereaux that since the reveal that Cat was conning them and Abby is really dead, Doug has been feeling under the weather as he took it really, really hard. So Jack goes upstairs and unfortunately he finds that Doug has passed away. And then Jack's got to come down and tell Julie that her beloved husband is gone. And of course she's devastated. Oh, Look for Susan Seaforth Hayes' superb work this week and next week as she relives the death of her beloved real-life husband, Bill Hayes, in these scenes because, you know, they've been scene partners as well as real-life spouses for decades. That woman is incredible, and if Susan Hayes doesn't get a Daytime Emmy for this work, then the world has just gone mad. So it then falls to Jenn Horton to let Doug's daughter Hope Brady know that her father went to sleep and never woke up. And Eli and Lonnie are in town, and they have the twins, and of course they're going to rush over to be at Julie's side to comfort her in this time of immense personal loss. I mean, this has got to be the saddest Thanksgiving ever in Salem. By Friday, word has spread around town that Doug passed away, and it sends ripples through the community because everybody knew him, everybody loved him, just as the fans knew and loved Bill Hayes, as did all the cast and crew that worked with him for so many years, and even those relative newcomers to days that have only known him, you know, the past couple of years. So next week's episodes are largely focused on Doug's passing and his funeral and the tribute to Bill Hayes. And then, of course, there's this new guy in town played by Peyton Meyer that seems to have some link to Doug, to this legacy character. Marie Horton and Liz Chandler are back on Monday. We've got Julie's brother, Stephen Olsen, back. Eli is going to be sharing tales of Doug's escapades with Lonnie. We've got Sierra and Sean Brady back on the scene shortly, arriving with Hope Brady, who is in town to lay her father to rest. There will not be a dry eye in the house of any Days fan this week, next week. You know, everything turns tragic on the Thanksgiving episode airing Thursday, November 28th, if you have not seen it yet. Get your tissues ready and keep them close because from now all the way until next Friday, December 6th, it is all about losing Doug and remembering him and, of course, remembering Bill Hayes. You know, Bill defined what a life well lived looked like if you know his story. So be prepared as we lay Doug to rest. And obviously, you know, we wish that Bill rest in peace, and I'm sure he is. And all the condolences to Susan Seaforth Hayes, who is handling this in such an amazing way. And we know all the tears are real. I think that we're going to be seeing on all of his co-stars' faces, especially Susan's, but everybody that's been working with him for so long, Christian Alfonso, just everybody. So watch for it. Have your tissues ready because I know we're all going to be crying real tears as well.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.